Hi, I'm music teacher John. I'm a teacher in the Sacramento area. Give lessons to students one-on-one, and I also give lessons online, as well as do videos like this. Um, in this particular episode, I wanted to talk about basically everything I teach a student when I first have a lesson with them on the piano. In a previous episode, I kind of dove into how to play a chord, or how to play chords to kind of get into music and stuff, but that's not usually what I do with students when I first meet them or first work with them. For someone who's wanting to learn piano long term, you want to start out with a lot of the very basic stuff in the beginning. You know, how do you sit at a piano? How do you hold your fingers? How, all those different things. And so I'll talk a bit about that. Hopefully, won't spend all the time doing that because I want to get back to kind of talking about chords at least a little bit. So that people watching this video have something to kind of take away with them. But anyway, this is the first thing I teach my students when I see them for the very first time. The first thing to talk about is kind of how to sit at a piano, and I know it seems kind of elementary, but you want to be careful that you're sitting the right distance from a piano. So for me personally, so basically, if you're sitting at a piano, I'm facing my keyboard right now. You can see that. If you're facing a piano, try this. Make two fists, and then stick them out as far as you can up to what we call the fall boards. The fall board is this. See, so stick your fists out about as far as they can go until they reach the fall board. You want to have a straight arm like that. That's about how far you should be from your keyboard or from your piano when you're playing it. So this can feel kind of far away at first. Like I remember when I was first doing it, it just feels like there's just so much room in front of me when I'm doing that. But you don't want to be sitting too close to a piano, all like cramped and stuff. When you're playing, that's not really good. Second thing you want to think about when you're playing at a keyboard or on a piano is kind of how are you holding yourself? Are you sitting up straight? Or are you kind of slouching like this a lot? You want to be sitting up straight. You want your shoulders also to be kind of relaxed. A lot of times when students start playing, they kind of go like this, and I hate it because they're musicians, piano players who have been playing for years and years and years, and they practice like 8 hours a day. And when you see these videos of them performing, they're like all over the place, and they're throwing themselves around, and their form is just absolutely horrible. And they have the right to do that because they obviously know something I don't. But growing up, I was taught you keep your back straight, you keep your shoulders relaxed, and you try to play in kind of a relaxed manner. So if you're ever playing the piano and you're finding that your shoulders are slowly kind of you're tensing up like this, and you're kind of getting a little worked up, just calm down, keep your back straight, relax your shoulders, and go for it. The next thing to think about when you're playing the piano, in addition to those two things, are how are you holding your fingers over the keys. So a lot of students, when they start playing, they play with flat fingers like this. Let me show you. They play kind of like this, especially younger students. They'll flatten out their fingers and play this way. Now you can get away with that for a while, but you can't get away with that forever and expect that your playing is going to be really good. So the harder the pieces are, the faster they are, the more intricate and kind of difficult they are, the more that's going to slow you down. You don't want to play with flat fingers. You want to play with curved fingers, and you want to play where like you're hitting the key right on the very tips of your fingers. Now again, this is not comfortable at first. It's not something that's going to be necessarily natural, but as you do it, it becomes more natural. So I'll show you what I'm talking about. Move that out of the way a bit. So when you're playing, try to play with curved fingers, kind of like that. Some people say kind of like you're holding a ball. I like to say playing on the very, very, very tips of your fingers. You want to play that way. If you do that, then what's going to happen is that as you're able to play faster and faster, you're going to be able to keep up with the speed. You're going to be able to move quickly over the keys. So curving your fingers, playing on the very tips of your fingers is really, really helpful. So just to recap, you want to be the right distance. You want to keep your back straight, shoulders relaxed, and you want to curve your fingers, playing right on the tips of your fingers. So now I want to get into a little bit of something I talked about in the last video, which is sort of this idea that all the white keys are different letters of the alphabet. So just to kind of recap from that one, all the white keys are letters of the alphabet. It doesn't go from A to Z, it goes from A to G, and then it starts over again. So for example, the lowest note on the keyboard or the piano is an A, and then it goes B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then you could keep on going up to the very top. On a full keyboard, or on a real piano that has your standard 88 white and black keys, the very lowest note on that piano is going to be an A, and so you can kind of work your way up from there. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. If you're working with like an electric keyboard that only has like 62 keys or 72 keys, I can't help you there. It might not be an A on the bottom, and so you can't really use that little trick. But on a real full-size, normal piano or a keyboard that has all the keys that a piano would have, lowest note is an A. But there is something that you can use to sort of help you figure out where all these letters are, because it's a bit confusing, right? I mean, if I asked you to play a G right now and you were just going by the two videos I've been doing, that might be hard to sort of figure out. So I'm going to show you a quick and easy way to figure out where all the letters are the white keys on the piano. So let me turn this around. Okay. So you'll notice on any piano you have this pattern of black keys, right? So if I go all the way down here, you have a group of 2, then 3, then 2, then 3. And I'd recommend that if you have a piano in front of you, try finding all the groups of 3 black keys, or just try finding all the groups of 2 black keys. So that becomes really important when you're trying to figure out where certain notes are. There's this pattern of 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3. Now here's kind of how this works. This is an A note. This is B, C, D, E, F, G, and then you start over with A. Now, is there you could ask yourself, is there a quick and easy way to figure out where those letters are all over the piano? All the way down here to all the way up here. Well, yes, there is. And I'll give you an example. Find a group of 2 black keys. Okay. Now, hit the white key that's in between them. That's a D. Okay, a D is in dog, all right? That's a D. If you go and find another group of 2 black keys right in between, that's a D, okay? If you find another group of 2 black keys right in between, that's a D, okay? So everywhere you have a group of 2 black keys right in between, that's a D. And the same goes for all the other letters. So, right, if this is D, and this would be E, and this would be F. F is right next to the group of 3 black keys, a little bit lower. We say lower because it's lower in sound, kind of right there. Okay, so group of 3 black keys, just a little bit over. There's my F. Find another group of 3 black keys, just a little bit over. There's my F. Another group of 3 black keys, just a little bit over. There's my F. All right. So every single group of 3 black keys, if I can find them just a little bit over, that's where F is going to be. Now, why is this important? Especially if you're playing chords. The reason it's important is because that's a very quick and easy way to find a chord, right? And it also kind of gives you a more variety in where you might want to play chords, all right? So in the previous video, we talked about the song Whatever It Takes, and I was going from F major down to C, down to G, or up to G, and then up to A minor, right? And this is F I said because you have F down here, and then you're going skip skip, and then C because there's a C down here, and you're going skip skip, and then G skip skip, A skip skip, and that's what makes all these chords kind of what they are. So what if you're really quickly trying to find an F chord? Well, you know that 3 blank keys, a little bit over. There's my F. Okay, there I go. But I'm not just limited to playing the F chord right there. I could play the F chord down here. Here's a group of 3 blank keys. There's my F. There's another F chord. And they both work. Both of them are great. Okay, so if you're playing the song Whatever It Takes and they're telling you to play the F chord, you could play it here or you could play it here. Or you could find the F up here and play it here, right? Or you could do some kind of combination, like use both hands and play F down here and the F chord up here. And then sound really impressive, right? Whatever it takes, and then I could go down to C, then come up, love the adrenaline in my veins, right? And then one up. Okay, so knowing what the different letters are on the different keys is really helpful, especially when you're trying to play chords, to some of your favorite songs. You can sort of find what you're doing easily, and you can start getting really creative with what you got. Okay, so I hope that's helpful. What I'll probably do in another episode is kind of expand on chords and talk a bit about more things that you can do with them. Because again, once you know how to play chords, it's just like I said in the last one, it opens up a whole world of music. But in the meantime, if you're using these videos to kind of try and learn how to play piano, try to think about how you're playing. Are you sitting the right distance from the keyboard? Are you curving your fingers? Are you keeping your back straight? Are your shoulders relaxed? All of that in the long run is really going to help you as a musician.